Baseball from Kauffman Stadium. The Royals continue their 4-game series with the Minnesota Twins, and now they've won 8 of their last 9 at home. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Sudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Erica and Monty are coming up. It's game 2 between the Royals and the Twins. It's game 2 between Lopez and Jose Barrios. And last weekend in Minnesota, Jorge sure gave us a thrill.
Oh, man, are you kidding? So many Kansas Cityans held their breath. Everyone, including the broadcasters and everybody in the Minnesota Twins stadium, were holding their breath. When you have a game like that and you're perfect through that many innings, it's just incredible. It's breathtaking. But you know what, though? He had to exhale. Somebody blinked first, and he ended up losing his perfect game. But still, hey, he's better make some adjustments because they'll be ready for him tonight.
And the Royals will be facing a tough pitcher in Jose Barrios. He gave up just 1 run in 6 innings in that start. When we come back, we'll talk about Whit Merrifield, who seems to create an elite category for just himself every night. Well, let's talk about Whit Merrifield. And coming into this year, I think the question was, could he do what he did last year? And now he's doing a lot more than he did last year.
Amazing what a chip on your shoulder will do when you're told you're too young, you're too small, you'll never make it. He's making it in a big way. Open up a lot of eyes. He's a winning type baseball player. Certainly valuable on any 30 team in the world. It's been fantastic to watch him go line to line, gap to gap, homer to homer. And when it comes to stealing bags, there's none better. There weren't last year, and right now, he's the king again. So look, hopefully Whit will continue his on-base percentage, which is allowing him to get out there to steal those bases, and he can go back-to-back years. Can't wait to watch it.
If he goes 2-hit Whit the rest of the year, he'll have 200 hits. When we come back, Monty and Erica will talk about the suddenly innings-eating Royals starting rotation.
Lopez back on the mound for the Royals tonight after 8 perfect innings last Saturday in Minneapolis. Of course, he was the only Royals pitcher to take a perfect game into the 9th inning. Hello, everybody. Erica Weston with you alongside Jeff Montgomery. And just to piggyback off of that, the starting pitching, especially the last 3 weeks, has been spectacular. A 1.03 earned run average improvement over the last 3 weeks. That's the best in baseball.
Well, if you look at it, there's no coincidence the Royals have played really good baseball over the last 3 weeks. If you get good starting pitching, you have a chance to win every night, and that's what the Royals have really done since August 22nd here. They've gone out and they've played really good baseball, and they've gotten great starting pitching. If you look at what all these guys have done, everybody's finding a way to contribute, and I think the thing that stands out to me most in this Toyota League leaders here is the 121 innings pitched since August 22nd. First in baseball. You would love to have that during the course of the season. Really difficult to do, but a lot of young arms going out and performing. Some of them maybe pleasant surprises. Let's see if they can keep it going here tonight.
Exactly what you want to see at the end of the season. Production from your young guys. Jose Barrios, Jorge Lopez's fellow countryman, opposes him on the mound tonight for the Twins. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you at the game.
Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Last night, the Royals pitched well in Game 1 with Minnesota. They played excellent defense, and they hit 2 home runs back-to-back. Salvador Perez and Jorge Bonifacio. The Royals have won 8 of their last 9 here at Kauffman Stadium, 11 of their last 13. The Twins have lost 6 straight on the road. 2 between the Royals and the Minnesota Twins. It is girls' night out, and it's 86 degrees as we approach first pitch. And look at the Minnesota lineup tonight against Jorge Lopez. Joe Mauer is back in. Eddie Rosario is out. Williams Astudillo, who hit the walk-off home run against the Royals last weekend in Minneapolis, he will be the catcher, and Gregorio Petit takes over at second base for Logan Forsythe. And last weekend in Minneapolis, it took the Twins 9 innings before they got a hit against Jorge Lopez. Oh, I thought that was the Twins dugout. Maybe they were going to begin that small fire and put their bats up against it for a little better luck against Lopez this time around.
They might. I'll tell you what, it's good to see the flame, because you know the Royals have been playing hot. Jorge Lopez, he knows exactly who he's going to face tonight, and so do the Twins. They saw him just a week ago, and he's done pretty well so far. Now his fastball was the key. Let's see if he can keep it down in the zone tonight. Pound down. That's the whole key. Cal Eldred told me before the game, keep his stuff down. Keep it simple. Use the infield behind you. They're fantastic making the plays. Forward around the horn, Royals defense, 34-year Alex Gordon, he's on top of his game. His defense is top shelf to elite. He's got outfield assists 9 this year, 91 in his career. That's best for most since 2010.
Our crew chief, 25-year veteran Gary Cedarstrom, is behind the plate. Ben May is at first. Corey Blazer at second, and Stu Sherwater is at third. Lopez had a good start even before he pitched against Minnesota on Saturday. And an Archaea drive to success. His pitches per inning have improved. In his first 3, he was right about 20 pitches per inning. But against Baltimore on September the 2nd, 14, and then just under 14 pitches per inning against Minnesota, and being a lot more aggressive with his fastball early in the count, Hud. And now he's been finishing off hitters with his fastball later in the count.
And there's no question about he has the fastball ability. And here it is, not just the velocity, and he'll average 94. It's the movement he's getting on that pitch that's really fooling hitters. That's why he uses it a lot. Why not? I would use it a lot as well. See the opponent last 2 starts, that fastball, there's a reason why a hitter in this league, they look fastball. But you're under 200, that's unheard of. It's because of the movement.
He is smiling and clapping as a young fan had the honor of yelling "play ball" before the first pitch. So much for being in the zone. And even while he was putting that potential perfect game together last Saturday, he was having a good old time in the dugout in between innings.
He's a happy guy. Really enjoys life, but much more so pitching.
And Joe Mauer takes a fastball low. Last night's game ended with Joe Mauer striking out against Willie Peralta. He had come on as a pinch hitter. And now the game tonight begins with Mauer at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was Lopez's first ever start against Minnesota last Saturday. And that near perfect game was just his 3rd major league victory. Out to Witt at second base, running along the edge of the outfield grass, and there's 1 away. And now for Lopez, had 2 starts in a row, career highs in innings and career highs in pitches. And Royals have a bit of a throwback mentality lately with starters going 7 and 8 innings.
Yeah, and that throwback mentality works. Okay, that's going to win you games. It's going to keep your bullpen fresh. And really what you're doing is you're teaching your starters that it's not okay to go 5 innings. Eat up 6 or 7. go as deep as you possibly can, but you have to have good command to do that. We talked about Lopez not, throwing a lot of pitches early. He was not in the zone. Wasn't throwing strikes, but that rare 95 is where he wants to be on the outer half.
Oh, 2 on Polanco, who led off last night and was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Different from Jorge Lopez. Heath Fillmyer struggled his first time out against Minnesota and made up for that last night. He gave up a 2-run home run in the second inning, and then he went on to retire 19 of the next 21.
That's hard to do. Great job.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
But an outing that Lopez had his last against the Minnesota Twins, going to be hard to duplicate. As you say it lots of times, and there's a lot of truth to it. You pitch great against a team one week, the next week may not go as well. But he's going to use that defense here in the first, like he's doing right now.
2 down. He became the first Royal to take a perfect game into the 9th inning. 50 years of Royals baseball, and that was the first time. Here's Jake Cave, who had a 2-run home run last night. Breaking ball is high, ball 1. Jake Cave bats 3rd tonight. Fooled by a breaking ball, 1-1. It was the 27th start in Royals history where a starter went 8 or more innings and allowed 1 hit or fewer. And Jake Cave is not picking up Lopez curveball.
He's guessing, and he guessed wrong. I mean, missed that by a foot.
Fastball's way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back to Lopez. So a good start. 3 up, 3 down with 3 ground outs. Now we'll see what the Royals do tonight against All-Star Jose Barrios. Perez coming back from that sprained thumb. Batted 6th for a few games, 5th last night, and now Ned has him back in the cleanup spot. And Salvi's had a heck of a run lately against Minnesota. We'll see if that continues tonight against Jose Barrios. And lost in Jorge Lopez, Jim Hud, was Barrios throwing 6 innings and giving up just 1 run, 3 hits on Saturday.
No doubt about it. See him up. He's got some pretty good pitches, but you got to get an elevated pitch to drive it and put it in play in one of the spacious gaps here at the beautiful Kauffman Stadium. See him up.
Polanco goes to the middle and throws in time. Polanco had a big error in the Royals' 5th inning last night.
Yeah, it hurt him. He's pretty solid, though. So is Max Kepler out in right field, making his 88th start. He's a good athlete, can play all outfield positions. And catching for the Twins, Willens Estadio. He's outstanding. He's making his 6th start. He's a young Estadio is how you pronounce that name. But he's making his 6th big league start behind the plate. And pitchers love throwing to him. Now it's 5'9", 225 pounds. May not look like a ball player. Don't let that kid you. He's a player. Has good speed. He can hit. This young man has a nice future ahead of him.
Mondesi was the batter who put the ball in play when Polanco made that error in the 5th inning. 2 balls, 1 strike, and then in the 6th, in the Royals' biggest inning, a 4-run 6th, Mondesi singled in a run. Another thing about Estadio, you said pitchers like throwing to him, and I'm thinking, you mean his pitchers when he's catching, or the opposing pitchers when he's hitting? Because it doesn't take very long to get a decision from him when he's at the plate.
You better believe it. No,
I mean, he swings and hardly ever swings and misses.
No, can't wait to watch him hit. You know, he's a lot of fun. He's a young man that has a great hand-eye coordination. And Eddie Guardado, our buddy, who's the bullpen coach out there, was telling me before the game that all of his relievers, the starters, love the kid.
Mondesi is on with a 1-out walk.
And one of the reasons is at 5'9", he's a small target back there. It helps their focus.
He has not swung and missed in his last 21 plate appearances.
That's amazing. You can't get a ball by him.
1 on 1 out to Alex Gordon. Alex was on 3 more times last night. And then he had an RBI in the 8th inning, giving Willie Peralta a little more cushion. There goes Mondesi. Estadio's throw arrives late. Mondesi was losing his balance, but he was able to keep his right foot on the bag. Runner at second with 1 out.
Nothing wrong with the throw. Estadio, really quick release, but better jump. With that kind of speed, you can't throw him out. Not even with a perfect throw. So when you walk him, you're basically walking a double.
Look out. Safe.
Looked like they might have had him. He caught him off balance. Polanco just lost his footing, couldn't make the grab.
He wasn't. Well, he was looking at Polanco and not at Barrios. Yeah, you're right. A good throw, and that's a completely different result. Oh, and 2 on Alex. Now, I'm not saying Polanco should have caught that, but remember, talking about that RBI that Alex had in the 8th inning last night. Remember that throwing error that was called on Jimenez?
Yeah,
and
which
Polanco
is right
just
to him.
Whiffed on it. Just missed it, remember, and went into center field.
Boxed. I mean, yeah, just try to be too quick, pull the glove away.
It was not a pick and grin.
No.
Which we all learned last night.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
You know what? That same term's been around a long time. Just haven't used it. Alex with 2 strikes. See if he can get a little approach. He can try to knock him in. Won't take much. Outfield playing deep because there's no way they're going to throw Mondesi out on a ground ball single. They want to keep Alex off of second base.
In the last 30 days, the Royals have 3 of the top 6 hitters in the American League in line drive rate. It's 0-2 from Barrios to Alex Gordon, but it's also a good thing for Alex how distracted Barrios is by Mondesi. Out to Grossman in left field. 2 outs. Well, Hud, let's take a look at Mondesi's speed. StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
First to second, 3.51. Pretty impressive. Doesn't really need a big lead. Has that kind of quickness, great takeoff, acceleration, full speed in 1 step.
That's a speeding ticket in Greenwood.
I'll say.
Salvador Perez with a runner at second base, 2 down. Fastball in there at 95. Salvi didn't hit the farthest home run a Royal has hit this year, but he may have hit the hardest home run a Royal has hit this year last night when he hit a 2-run shot off of Alan Busnitz in the 6th inning. Shallow right center field and down. Mondesi scores and the Royals take a 1-0 lead in the 1st inning.
One of the reasons why Salvador has really surged in the in the second half of the season is that that ball's 4 inches off the plate, but he's trying to knock the run in. He's using the opposite field. So the difference between his 221 average in the first half and 259 in the second is by opening up the field, not trying to swing so hard.
Good rip by Hunter Dozier. Hunter didn't play Wednesday night against the White Sox with a stiff back, and then he returned last night and was 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. One and one. Fastball tailing in on Dozier. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rios has good numbers. He is making his 30th start tonight. His ERA is under 4. He has struck out more batters than innings pitched. He was an all-star, but he has only 2 quality starts in his last 7. However, both of those have been against the Royals. So fading a bit in the final month of the season.
Yep. And that's natural for a lot of guys, but no key is to finish strong. Sometimes you don't have enough in the tank.
Fastball struck him out, and the inning is over. So last night, Salvi showed off his power. Tonight, a flare to right to give the Royals a 1-0 lead.
Minnesota Twins here in the top of the second inning. Hello, everybody. I'm Erica Weston with you. He was nearly perfect last Saturday in Minneapolis. He was the only Royals pitcher to take a perfect game into the 9th inning, so he made history regardless. But it was a performance that any starting pitcher would dream about having. We got an opportunity to speak with Lopez the day after his nearly perfect game, and naturally, he said he didn't get to sleep that night till about 4 a.m. His phone was absolutely blowing up, and rightfully so. He called the day a dream come true, said his heart rate accelerated a little bit, so it was in fact a little bit hard to finish that one. He gave up the walk and a hit to lead off the 9th inning, but it was quite an evening at the ballpark. There was a big contingent of fans from Puerto Rico in the stands last Saturday as well to watch both Lopez and Jose Barrios of the Twins. Fellow Puerto Rican countryman Barrios said it was fun to watch him, and it was a victory for Puerto Rico as well. Brian.
Yeah, that was a surprise, Erica, when we were talking about when was the last time two Puerto Rican born starters matched up, and it was 8 years prior to the Lopez and Barrios #1, and tonight is the rematch.
That's great for Puerto Rico. They need to. It's good to have a reason to celebrate. Another great thing too was the exhibition game they did there this year, early in the season.
One strike on Max Kepler. Mondesi dives, and there will be no perfect game or no hitter tonight. Kepler breaks Lopez perfect game big at an inning and a third.
Oh well, I think a W would be happy with Lopez. If he can eat up some innings, I think that's just fine. Kepler, there's still good run on the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Nice effort. Unlikely to have thrown him out.
Inside to Williams Astudillo. By the way, it was Kepler, remember, who broke up the perfect game on Saturday with a walk on a 3-1 pitch.
Right.
And then Robbie Grossman, who grounded out to begin this inning, ended the no-hit bid. Kepler runs, and it's fouled at the plate. And then the next day, Astudillo hit a walk-off home run to win the game for Minnesota and win the series for Minnesota. And he was some kind of fired up.
Yeah, he was. Nice. New in the league. He's rookie, brand new. Wants to make a mark. Good for him. Balder's going to put the contact play on, hit and run there, because this guy, that's what he does, makes contact.
1-2.
Still hasn't swung and missed at a pitch.
In 21 plus plate appearances. Now it's the minor leagues, and yet some of his numbers are just remarkable when it comes to strikeouts and at bats. Very shallow right field, and Bonifacio was shallow. 2 outs.
That's a good pitch there. He beat him.
Last year, Hud, Astudillo had 120 at bats at Reno and struck out 5 times. The year before, 322 at bats, and he struck out 11 times. The year before, 385 at bats, 10 strikeouts.
Wow. He's a throwback.
Now, of course, the other side of that is he never walks, but
he's a hacker.
He puts bat on ball.
Love that.
A-Ray Adrianza with a runner at first and 2 down. Curveball's down and in on the switch hitting third baseman Adrianza. Still no Miguel Sano. He wrecked his left knee on a slide 10 days ago, so he didn't play in the 3-game series last weekend. He has not played in this series yet. And with Eduardo Escobar traded away, Adrianza gets a chance to showcase his glove and his bat. Well, Hud, you said pound down, and 5 of Lopez's first 6 outs have been on the ground.
Nicely done. Later in tonight's game.
Ryan O'Hearn leads off the bottom of the second. He got the night off last night with Minnesota opening with a lefty, Gabriel Moya, and then another lefty, Steven Gonsalves. 10 home runs, 24 RBIs in his first 32 games. He actually accomplished those 2 in his first 30 games, and those are Royals records. Fastest to 10 home runs and 24 driven in. And when you add up all of his extra base hits, he has 16. Only Johnny Damon had more extra base hits in the same amount of time, and it was 1 more back in 1995.
How about another walk?
You know, he was a late addition a couple of nights ago with Carlos Rodon on the mound. One of the toughest lefties in the league, and he held his own. He walked 3 times against Rodon.
Yeah, you know, I really believe manager Ned Yost knows that he can hit left-handers, even though he hasn't shown it numbers-wise this year, his little stint he's been up. So, you know, they're not going to hold that against him.
Jorge Bonifacio homered last night. Last night was a game of second chances. Remember, the Royals had runners at second and third and nobody out in the 4th inning. And Gonsalves got out of it, getting Salvador Perez to pop up and Jorge Bonifacio to fly out. But then 2 innings later, given another chance, Salvi and Bonifacio came through, and now Boney has a single to center field, and the Royals have 2 on with nobody out.
The handsiest hitter on the team. Fastball had a little movement. Look at that ball, how that took off, kept his hands inside. No load whatsoever. Just an easy toe tapper. Just picks up his toe and sets it down. Trying to keep the swing simple, really. Don't overdo it, and don't think too much. Early part of the season, Royals offense obviously thinking way too much, especially in run-producing situations. Only averaging 2 runs per game the month of June.
Goodwin was off last night. With Merrifield played center. Minnesota thinks Goodwin may lay one down, and he does. Astudillo throws to third.
Ooh, uh-oh.
And then he hit the deck.
Oh man. Him and the pitcher collided. Well, that's a heads-up play. I'll talk about him being an athlete. I dropped the. He's a baseball player. That's a compliment for a catcher. They can do all the little things. He can run. Watch this, though. This is scary. A little facial on the Trevor turf. But you know, Trevor turf, we found out, even in last night's game, it's soft landing. No problem.
You know, that wasn't that bad of a bunt.
No, but it talks about the quickness and the athleticism of this young man. 5'9", 225.
And he was fortunate too that his target, he was moving toward his target when he picked up the ball. So first and second, 1 out to Rosell Herrera. Rosie had been in a deep slump and was 0 for 2 last night, and then got hits in his last 2 at bats and scored a run. That was his first multi-hit game in almost a month, but we could see it coming. He was hitting the ball hard and getting walks leading into last night, or at least he had some of the markers of coming out of it.
Yeah, it was short to the ball. With a good handsy type hitter.
One ball, 2 strikes. If the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. Souvenir in the bottom of the second inning. Give me that ball.
Yeah, come on, don't fight over it. There's plenty to go around.
Two and two. The inning began with a 4-pitch walk to Ryan O'Hearn. Then a single by Bonifacio, and then a force out on a bunt attempt by Goodwin. And Barrios has walked 2 tonight. His first walk resulted in the run. And we were talking about his trouble lately, well, especially on the road. His last 4 starts has produced a 6.6 ERA, and walks have been a big issue.
Yikes.
Almost 7.5 per 9 innings.
Get him here 3 and 2. If he tries to sneak a piece of cheese by him, busted.
And it's outside for another walk.
Wasn't his pitch. Good. Way to eyeball him.
So he's walked 3, 2 in this inning, and they're loaded up for Whit Merrifield. And pitching coach Garvin Alston is going to make an early trip to the mound. Maybe sensing a young pitcher getting frustrated. Try and reel him back in and make sure this doesn't turn into a big inning.
Well, it very well could be, especially with this next batter sitting there at the dish. Actually, he's not sitting there. He's standing there, and you might have to wipe the drool off of his mouth as Whit Merrifield is looking to really cash in here and help Jorge Lopez. Has a chance. He's 0 for 4 this year with him loaded. He's due.
And if he averages 2 hits a game. Well, he's a little less than that. Then you could have a 200 hit season.
Won't be easy, but impressive anyway. 297 hitter overall with a runner in scoring position. Pretty reliable. See what can happen here. Less than 2. Has an eye. Look him up, just like we talked about. Look him up in the zone. Don't let him off the hook here. Make those walks pay.
One and 0. Witt grounded out to short in the first inning, and that's what Berrios was hoping for with that first pitch. Out over the plate. Well hit center field. Cave is back. It is plenty deep enough for Bonifacio to come down from third. Goodwin goes to third, and Whit Merrifield gives the Royals a 2-0 lead.
See him up? That's exactly what he did. See the ball up? That's above the belt, and that's an easy run with a contact hitter like Whit Merrifield.
There's his pitcher showing his appreciation. And that'll bring up Mondesi. Berrios throws over to first quite a bit, and there's a reason for that. Opposing base stealers have had quite a bit of success against him, and so that's a tool for him to try and keep them close. 0-1 on Mondesi. For 11 this year if you add in Mondesi tonight, and he has thrown over there 102 times, 4th most in the major leagues. He gets Mondesi with a runner at third, but the Royals get a run in the second after getting a run in the first, and Lopez has a 2-0 lead. Driven in the first 2 runs. Well, this time of year, every game, every win is crucial. The Dodgers and the Cardinals will be on at 11:30 on Fox, and then the Royals and the Twins at 6 p.m. on FS1 with Eric Collins and CJ Nitkowski. And then we're back here on Fox Sports Kansas City on Sunday. There's a strike to Tyler Austin, the Minnesota DH. Right now the Cardinals are tied with the Brewers for the, or rather they have a wild card spot along with the Brewers. The Brewers have the lead, and the Dodgers are 1 game back in the wild card chase. Two balls, 1 strike. St. Louis is 4.5 back in their division. Los Angeles a 1.5 games back in their division. Two and two. Tyler Austin was 0 for 3 last night with a couple of strikeouts against Heath Fillmyer. Oh, Salvia was ready to throw that thing down to third, but Gary Cedarstrom said it was outside. There's a perfect example of Lopez late movement.
Oh man, I don't blame Salvi. That's a strike. A good looking one. Look at the movement. Man, is that nice.
So 1 more pitch, and it's a breaking ball, and that's Jorge's first strikeout.
After that 94 on the black, and then he dropped the hammer there. That's just a tough pitch, but to try to handle. But for Lopez, outstanding. What you want?
Here's Gregorio Petit. And there's a base hit into left field. Petit will stop at first base with a 1-out single.
Going to challenge the number 9 hitter right there. That's what you do. Be ready to hit. He was. Dozier was in, respecting the bunting ability.
Joe Mauer grounded out to Merrifield in the first inning. Fastball for a strike. Well, they say in life timing is everything, and before Austin struck out, Lopez looked like he threw an absolute strike, and it wasn't called a strike. Salvador Perez just simply threw the ball back to Jorge Lopez, didn't argue, didn't show up the umpire. And then on the next pitch, Austin did strike out swinging. No balls, 2 strikes. And as Salvi threw the ball down to Dozier as they throw it around the horn after a strikeout, then he turned to Gary Cedarstrom, where nobody's paying attention to what's going on at home.
Yep.
And they had a little discussion about the pitch before. With the moral of the story being that you can discuss or even argue with an umpire on the mound. It's just when you do it and how you do it.
There's a lot to that. Salvi's been around long enough to know it.
Base hit right field for Mauer. Petit holds at second, and that is a notable hit for Joe Mauer. That is his 249th against the Royals, second all time.
Breaking ball, went with 2 in a row. Mauer's just way too good a hitter to let that second one go by, and doesn't like to pull the ball, but he will take enough speed off of it like that one.
So he breaks a tie with Victor Martinez. He will have to have 2 incredible games tomorrow and Sunday to catch Rod Carew.
Yeah, he will.
But if he comes back to Minnesota or another American League team next year, he might have a shot.
And that's undecided still.
Polanco rolled out to Merrifield in the first inning. Slice to the line in left field, and Alex makes a diving catch. That ball just kept working away from him with the slice, but he ran it down.
Yep. Wasn't sure at first if he was going to catch up on it. Polanco kind of hit it off the end of the bat, had some slice down the left field line. But then Alex Gordon is all over attention to detail. He's going to shade the runner, or excuse me, the hitter, and then his first step quickness is the best, even at 34.
And there were a few plays like that for Lopez in the Saturday game against Minnesota. A couple by Alex, who's third best in defensive run save among outfielders. Here's Jake Cave with 2 on and 2 out. And I don't know how many people have asked me since Lopez game, did you think he was going to get it? And the answer is yes, because usually if there's a no-hitter or a perfect game, there's 1, maybe 2 really good plays to help the pitcher out. Lopez had 6 or 7. And his defense was spot on, airtight. 0-2 on Jake Cave.
Top shelf.
Top shelf.
There it is. Not a lower shelf. That's top. He's got that play down right there. He can make that slide with the best of them.
Those are just a couple from Alex. That second one, Alex lost for a while in the twilight. Nice big hop for Merrifield. And more ground ball outs for Jorge Lopez. Twins have 2 outs in the air, including this one. Alex Gordon robbing Jorge Polanco. Just a few months ago, she had 2 on a cruise. But 3 years ago, Nancy collapsed in a local restaurant and her life was saved thanks to quick action by the restaurant manager who performed CPR and until help arrived with an AED. After that, Nancy has served as an advocate for hands-only CPR and has taught numerous individuals this life-saving skill. You may have heard her interview with Erica and Monty on Price Chopper Royals Live, and tonight she sits in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat. No balls, 2 strikes. Jose Barrios to Alex Gordon, who flied out to his counterpart Grossman in left field in the first inning. Gordon, Perez, and Dozier are coming up. Salvi and Whit Merrifield have driven in the 2 Royals runs, 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Grounded into right field on a fastball. The Royals have 3 hits tonight, 2 on a fastball. And the reason why that's notable is because the Royals were 0 for 10 on Barrios fastballs last Saturday.
They're looking for him, and now that is not exactly looking him up like we talked about at the beginning of the game, but that'll work. Found a hole. Hit a pitcher's pitch. And it's rare this year that we've seen Alex Gordon pull one that wasn't caught because they play him in that drastic shift. That's what you're saying right there. They're looking for the fastball.
Breaking ball strike to Salvador Perez. He has driven in a run tonight, which is no surprise to the Twins in our Kubota Power stats. In his last 11 games, including tonight, Salvi has 5 home runs and 15 RBIs against Minnesota. Soft liner is caught at third on a broken bat. Alex gets back to first in time, and that is out number 1.
They still keep trying Adrianza tonight.
Hunter Dozier struck out on a fastball in the first inning. Barrios knows that Alex will take off. He has 12 stolen bases, and he's only been thrown out twice. Mondesi has already stolen a base tonight.
Alex was telling me yesterday when I brought up, hey, you like being on the first base of a double steal when there's a runner ahead of you at second. He just loved it. He had a big old grin on his face because he can get a 13, 14-foot lead over there, and they never throw behind to the tail runner. They always go after the guy at third. So he just loves it. Says those are easy bags right there. Good for him. He deserves a few easy bags.
And the Royals have the most double steals in the American League this year. And come to think of it, I think Alex has been a part of most, if not all of them.
I think so.
Breaking ball strikes out Dozier. That's Barrios' second, both against Dozier. 2 down.
Hey, you need a piece of art for your Royals fan cave? Don't miss your chance to receive the 50th season Canvas College giveaway. Featuring the Royals all-time team tomorrow. First 10,000 fans through the gates will receive this exclusive canvas presented by Brown and Crouppen before the Royals take on the Twins at 6:15. Head to Royals.com to purchase your ticket today.
Those ladies are taking full advantage of Girls Night Out. Look at, they're using the face painters.
And they're having a good time.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, no frowns on their faces. They'd like to see another run right here, too.
It's 0-2 on O'Hearn. He led off the second inning with a 4-pitch walk. The Royals have stolen 53 bases since the All-Star break, the most in the major leagues. Minnesota, by the way, they have the fewest stolen bases since the All-Star break. 9. 53 against 9. Stolen bases since the break. The Royals versus the Twins. Alex took off early, but a little too early. Barrios hadn't gone to the plate, so he had to stop and hop back toward first, but he almost timed a great jump. Probably asking Mitch Meyer, should I have kept going?
Well, as it turned out, he fouled it off. He had to go gone back and tried it again.
Fought it off up the left field line. That is a fair ball by a foot. So Hearn makes contact. He avoids a strikeout and ends up with a bloop double.
He'll take that 5th double. Are you kidding? The way he came out of that box, I wasn't sure, but then by looking at the runner, he'll tell you, man, that's going to fall in there. Jam shot. Stayed fair by at least 2 feet.
And there you go. The second time he faces a starter. He's been a black belt.
Gets a hit.
He is 13 for 24 the second time he faces a starter in a game. Highest batting average in the major leagues. Bonifacio single to center and scored the Royals' second run. And now he has 2 runners in scoring position.
With 2 outs. He's hitting .333 in this situation. Way to go. Let's see if he can keep it rolling.
1-1. Alex Gordon opened the inning with a single, and then with 2 outs, O'Hearn doubled. Barrios wanted an appeal, but he didn't get it. Now he gets it. And Ben May, the umpire at first, says no swing.
That's a good way to break up your concentration right there. You know, it's not his job. Just throw the ball. Instead, he stood there. Ooh.
Now, it didn't look like he was close to swinging with the check swing. Is that a sign that Barrios is concerned with his stuff tonight, that he's pleading for a check swing?
Pleading is a much more polite word than begging.
Still 2-2.
But that's what a hitter would say. He's begging.
The Royals scored 1 in the first. They scored 1 in the second, and now they have runners at second and third with 2 outs in the third.
It's time to do exactly what he did in his last at bat, Bonifacio. Just shorten up. Oh, got him.
He has a great curveball. Barrios strikes out 2. The Royals strand 2, but at the end of 3, the Royals lead 2-0. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Bo Jackson was built for just about everything. That's his first major league home run back in 1986. And it just happened to be, at the time, the longest home run in the history of this ballpark, then Royals Stadium. How about that? First home run of your career, and it's the longest one in the history of the stadium.
I'm not surprised.
That was off of Mike Moore, who played for many big league teams. He had a long career. So that ball would have landed about where that Miller Lite logo is on that post, maybe at the base of it, top of what was the grass hill in left field and left center. And eventually they put the old Jumbotron up in that area. So that guy sitting with the empty seat right next to him, he might have ended up with a souvenir if he was sitting on a blanket on the grass back in September of 1986.
Yeah. He looked pretty comfortable tonight. But the left fielder, Phil Bradley, did you notice he just crossed his arms as the ball went over his head?
Robbie Grossman, who broke up Lopez no-hit bid with a single to center field last Saturday. He has a leadoff single in the 4th inning tonight. He's 1 for 2.
Mo Lottery replay shows you it's a breaking ball that stayed up. Grossman, professional hitter, is going to put it in play. I guess they're all professional hitters since they are big leaguers and getting paid, but that's a term used exclusively for a guy who has a pretty good idea.
Minnesota has 4 singles tonight. Max Kepler has one of them. I think the term, would the term professional hitter be the same as when you say this guy's really a pitcher? Now, yeah, obviously he's a pitcher. He's standing on the mound. But there's a difference between a pitcher and a thrower.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? I mean, it's a compliment when you say professional hitter, or he's really a pitcher. That means that they have a good feel for their position.
Yeah, and the term, he's a baseball player.
Again, obviously, because they're on a field in a baseball uniform, but when you say that, it has
meaning,
deeper meaning. Yeah.
Kepler has ballerinas for parents. No wonder he's athletic, coordinated.
And Mondesi, who's pretty light on his toes, goes out and makes a play in left field. I don't know if that was quite Barishnikov, but it took good footwork to go out and make that play in between 2 teammates.
You got to have great feet to be a good infielder. He just went out there and took charge, didn't he? That's what you want. Look at him. He's not backing down, aggressive. No collision. Not even. I don't think one touched each other. Perfect. Ah, I was wrong. There was a connection.
And now Astudillo with a runner at first base, 1 out. Astudillo flied out to right field in the 2nd inning, so he's at 22 consecutive plate appearances without a swing and a miss. Not a strikeout, just a swing and a miss at any point.
And it's not like Lopez and Salvi are worried about Grossman on a straight steal. They're just kind of keeping him close, thinking that it could be a hit and run with Astudillo, a guy that can make contact like that.
Not running, and late movement, and a fastball strike to Astudillo.
So if I was a pitcher and I read that one of the hitters on the opponents I was facing that night has not swung and missed at a pitch, I'd be trying to make it the first one. Let's go, break that streak. My stuff's better than his contact swing. Because these guys, you know, they love to compete. Cal Ripken Jr. was the most competitive teammate and opponent I ever faced in my 21 years, by far. He wanted to compete, and he wanted to do it in everything. He wanted to race up the stairs in the Metrodome when they had 56 flights of stairs. He wanted to beat you. He wanted to pick up more balls than you in the cage. Everything was a competition.
Hold foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cards, the guys play a lot of cards, you know, in their downtime in the clubhouse. They want to win.
What do you think drives them more, Hud? Wanting to win or hating to lose?
It's a good question. I think
bounced off the plate and no play. Even if someone had fielded that ball cleanly, it would have been a tough one.
Ooh, man, there was a near collision there in the infield. Good thing Lopez didn't get clocked by Dozier. They're all concentrating on the ball. Dozier at the last minute took his eye off it. Lopez becomes a spectator. And slight collision. I'm thinking guys really want to win. I'm not so sure a lot of them know how to lose. You have to learn how to lose. And what I mean by that is you get on the bus after a loss in the minor leagues, and you hear guys cutting up and laughing. The manager stands up and yells at the guys, hey, look, we just lost a game. Can you give it a little time, please? This is how we lose. You don't accept it. It's got to be taught lots of times.
Two on for Adrianza. He has played 8 games against the Royals, Adrianza, and has driven in 8. And that includes 5 RBIs last weekend in Minneapolis. Got the call on a high changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. Popped up to the left side. And it's Mondesi again. They call the infield fly rule. 2 outs. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. It's kind of a borderline infield fly call there. Remember a few years ago there was a wild card game in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta and St. Louis, and the game was decided on a play like that where the infield fly rule had been called, and it turned out to be a tough play for the shortstop going out into left field. I think he dropped the ball.
Ooh. Got called out anyway. Ooh.
The runners can still advance on the infield fly rule if the ball is dropped at your own risk. Two on and two out to Tyler Austin. We just showed you Bo Jackson's first big league home run back in 1986. Remember a couple of years ago, Tyler Austin and Aaron Judge hit back-to-back home runs for the Yankees in their big league debuts.
Wow.
Their first major league home runs back-to-back, the first time in major league history. And were named the Baby Bombers. Grounded out to Mondesi, so he had a busy inning. He throws out Austin, and the Twins strand two in the top of the fourth inning. Dodge. Hurry to your Dodge dealer today and clean up big with great deals during the Dodge Fall Cleanup event. That sounds good on a night like tonight, doesn't it? Fall cleanup. It was 90 today, 88 tomorrow, 87, and then 90 on Monday and Tuesday. So we are not out of the woods yet. We were talking about Aaron Judge last half inning, our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. He was reinstated from the disabled list today. Jacob Junis, you remember, hit him on the right wrist and he had a chip fracture. He's been taking batting practice, but at least for the near future, he is not going to hit. He'll be able to run and play defense.
Junis didn't mean to do it. All sailed on him, but man, it got him in a good spot. He's been out the whole season, basically.
That series
when was that?
Late July.
Oh, well, not the whole series, the whole season.
Well, the whole season since then.
Yeah, right.
That's a 3-pitch strikeout for Barrios with a fastball. He has 4 strikeouts tonight. Pretty good movement.
I'll say that's up. Too close. 2.
Herrera took a walk in the second inning. That was his 6th in his last 7 games. One and one. Been a battle for Barrios tonight, but he has battled. dealt with a lot of base runners. He has walked 3, and he's given up 4 hits. So the Royals had 7 base runners in the first 3 innings. 2-2. Did it go straight into the glove or into the dirt? Herrera thinks it went into the dirt first.
Austin Diaz sold it pretty well because that hit the dirt. See how he sells it? That catcher's did a nice job right there. He picks it up and he shows it. Watch him pull his glove up and say, I got it all the way. Cederstrom said it's a foul ball. Catch.
And once you begin to rule foul tip, it immediately becomes unreviewable. 0-1 on Merrifield. He has driven in a run tonight. Here's our sprint trivia question. Name the 2 players since the AL Central was created in 1994 to finish in the top 3 in the American League in both hits and stolen bases. 2 players in the history of the AL Central to finish in the top 3 in hits and stolen bases. Wow. Only 2 since 1994. And Whit Merrifield leads the league in stolen bases, and he was tied for 2nd coming into tonight in hits. I mean, we're not even talking about leading the league in those categories, just finishing in the top 3.
Okay, since 94. Do you think they try to throw us off and they put years on there? Is that a trick?
No, because that was the first year of the AL Central.
Okay, yeah, my bad. But they try to trick us sometimes.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could name the only 2 since 1953.
Oof.
Back-to-back strikeouts. Well, I'm going to throw out, not for a guess yet, Kenny Lofton for a potential.
Okay. The second game of 4 against Minnesota. Fans come out to the K this Sunday for the 50th season Royals Tumbler giveaway presented by AAA Insurance. The first 10,000 fans through the gates will receive that tumbler before cheering on the boys in blue as they host the Twins at 1:15. Ed. to Royals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Two-0 Royals on RBIs from Perez and Merrifield. Here's the number 9 hitter, Gregorio Petit. And he takes a slider for a strike.
How about Robbie Alomar?
He's on my tentative list. I've been furiously writing down names.
Good.
Petit single to left. First time up. He'll be followed by Mauer and Polanco. I have a couple of his teammates on the list too. Kenny Lofton.
Yep.
Omar Vizquel, who was a pretty good hitter by the end of his career with Cleveland. Tap to third, barehanded, and no throw by Dozier. And Petit is on with an infield single. He is 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Joe Mauer, and we go to Erica.
Guys, a lot's been made the last couple of days as Joe Mauer considering retirement at the end of the season. He said he'll sit down with his family and talk about it next year during the off season. He owes it to them. He's currently in the final season of that 8-year, $184 million contract. But I talked to Sal Perez today about what he admires most about Mauer. He said he's such a humble guy. When you see players like him, it forces you to play harder, makes you want to play the game longer. He says he's like Bartolo Colon. Huge respect for these guys that continue to play at 35 or older in Bartolo's case. He said he wants to be like Mauer, to be able to play that late into his career. Of course, Mauer is the longest tenured active player to be playing with one team.
And you mentioned that long contract, Erica, and that makes him a polarizing figure in Minnesota. Although I think fans are really starting to appreciate his career a little more. But he had that monster year in 2009, which was the last year of the Metrodome. And Mauer was the MVP that year. He missed the first month of the season and still had 28 home runs and 96 RBIs. Then the huge contract, which was based on numbers like that. He had never hit more than 13, and since then he has never hit more than 11. So depends on what kind of filter you want to use. If you want to talk about his career through the filter of that contract, you know, it's very easy to say that he fell short. But if you take that filter away and you look at 3 batting titles, an MVP, Gold Gloves, and now he drills one to the gap in right center field, and that'll go to the wall. Petit is rounding third. Merrifield's throw is just a little bit late, and now Mauer has made it a 2-1 game. He is 2 out of 3 tonight.
He split the gap perfectly here. There's no way you can draw a line any straighter. That was no chance for a Royal defender. 91 up in the zone, got the barrel there. I like the 3 batting titles. 1 batting title would have been impressive, but 2 others to say, hey, look, it was no fluke. I can hit. And the fact that, you know, when he got married, their first kids were twins. I mean, when I heard that, I was like,
that's a sign.
This guy is a lifetime twin.
Lopez wants it, and he throws out Polanco. You know, and the thing about his batting titles too, Hud, an American League catcher had never won a batting title, ever. No catcher had won a batting title since 1942, when he hit 347 in 2006, and then he won 3 of 4 batting titles. So he's the only catcher in American League history to win a batting title, and he has 3. But the home runs, the RBIs or lack thereof, and the wins from Minnesota, that's the fuel for his detractors.
I'd be surprised if he comes back for another year, just because he's had a long career. Well, He didn't throw him out.
He'll go to third, and now he'll be waved home on Goodwin. And he will slide in to tie the game. Jake Cave drives in his third run of the series, and it is 2-2 in the fifth inning.
Breaking balls up, not down. Down with everything. Cal Eldred's keys for tonight. Balls elevated is just, you know, gives it a little bit easier to put in play. But you know, Joe Mauer, he's well set up. He's had some concussions. You know, I mean, do you want to deal with that anymore? Do you really want to go out there? And, I mean, who's going to give him a contract? The Twins would like to keep him, but.
And he had another one of those concussions this year. At least he had concussion-like symptoms when he went down with a back strain.
Yeah, and you know, Erica was talking to Salvi about, you know, what he thinks, and Salvi says he admires, he'd like to play that long. Well, if he does, he'll do what Joe Mauer did too. He'll have to move to first base eventually. Now, I believe Salvador Perez would love to catch his entire career like Rick Dempsey did. For 25 years, Rick Dempsey caught, which is incredible. And when I introduced,
and he can still walk.
Yes, he can. He does. Takes good care of himself. I introduced Salvi to Rick Dempsey and told Salvi how many years he caught. He couldn't believe it. He about fell down.
Robbie Grossman with a runner at second, and Jake Cave went to second on the throw home. Grossman is singled and grounded out to first.
Goodwin has a good arm. He just missed the cutoff man though, and tried to heave-ho him out. Dempsey played 24 years in the majors. I was off by a couple of years.
Until he was 42.
Yeah. Impressive.
Got to the big leagues when he was 19 with the Minnesota Twins. You always think about him with the Orioles, but started with Minnesota when he was 19 and his career was over. He was 42.
Amazing.
One and two on Grossman.
You know, one of the reasons he had such a long career, Rick Dempsey, he told me he ran distance all the time. That's how he stayed in shape. He conditioned himself, and the reason he had such a great throwing arm his entire career was he threw almost every day. He threw, and when you throw, you keep your muscles strong, and you do long toss, it strengthens the muscle. Oh man.
Another base hit into center field, and they're going to run on Goodwin again. And this time Brian, well, he hesitated and still threw all the way through. So this began with an infield single, and now a double to center and two singles to center, and Minnesota leads 3-2.
There's that Grossman guy again. Another breaking ball up. That's been an issue in this inning. Can't get the breaking ball down where he wants it. He's hanging him. He might have had him if he'd have thrown the first time, but he double clutched.
Imagine Gary Cederstrom will allow a little extra time for this mound visit as Salvi's doing some translating, and now Cal is calling out Ned Yost and Nick Kenny. I think I saw Cal point at his chest.
Pectoralis.
Which could mean something or mean nothing, but that's the first motion he made when Ned came to the mound. And so the Royals will make an injury pitching change. So they're going to work in the bullpen, but whoever that is going to come on and he'll get all the warm-up tosses he needs. That's Jake Newberry. We'll be right back. His chest, and he said his chest. This is when Ned arrived. His chest. And Salvador Perez was nodding his head, so there was some translating going on right before Cal Eldred told Ned and Nick Kenny, I think you need to come out here. So Jake Newberry is a Chevy call to the bullpen, and because of the injury he will throw until he tells home plate umpire Gary Cederstrom he is ready to go. Minnesota had no runs and 1 hit in 8 innings on Saturday against Lopez, and now tonight 3 runs, 9 hits in 4 1/3. Grossman just put Minnesota in front with an RBI single. Minnesota scored all 3 in this inning, and now he's at first for Max Kepler.
Newberry likes to throw strikes. He comes right at you. Fastball low to mid-90s. Slider change.
Max Kepler has singled and popped a short on an impressive running play by Mondesi, running out from shortstop into shallow left field. Two 2-0. Jake pitched once in the Chicago series. He faced 2 and retired 2, including a strikeout of Jose Abreu. That time he lost his footing and missed low. 3 balls and no strikes. At the knees, 3-1. I'd mentioned when Kepler batted last time that both of his parents were ballet dancers. They met while performing in Berlin, and Max Kepler was born in Germany, signed by the Twins as a 16-year-old. And he's an impressive guy, Max Kepler. Excellent athlete. He wanted to be a soccer player. He turned down a scholarship to the Steffi Graf Tennis Academy. He speaks 3 languages. His mother is from the United States. That's where he got the baseball influence. His father is from Poland.
I talked to him a couple years ago. Ooh. Did pretty good. Alex has it corralled. And, you know, he's very interesting, like you said. And so I wondered, you know, they call a female ballet dancer a ballerina, and I wanted to know what they call a male, and he told me, he gave me another word, but I think I also heard ballerina for him too. Maybe I'm mistaken. But he could have, it might have been another word he gave me, but I think it's ballerina for both. But
is it a danseur? D-A-N-S-E-U-R.
It's possible. That was it.
A little bit outside to Astudillo. Not sure how good his ballet is, but he's 1 for 2 with an infield single tonight.
And he made a nice play on a bunt. A little sacrifice attempt. He's got quick feet. He can run.
A little bit outside, 2-0.
Saw a highlight of him scoring a run last week in the Yankee series in Minnesota from first base. He was getting around the bases.
Three balls, no strikes. Newberry fell behind Kepler 3-0 and then eventually got a fly out to left field, and now he's 3-0 with Astudillo. Astudillo is on, and that is not easy to do, to walk him. And there are 2 on with 2 out. That was Astudillo's first walk.
As a big leaguer, welcome to the show. And he's getting ready to run.
First walk in 50 plate appearances. But he evens that out with 2 strikeouts in his 50 plate appearances.
His throwback.
And now Adrianza, he is 0 for 2. Foul off to the first base side. The Twins have 9 hits already, 8 of which are singles. The only extra base hit was a double by Joe Mauer in this inning. Minnesota scored all 3 in this inning. All charged to Lopez. Lopez is responsible for Grossman at second base. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Adrianza. And Newberry's responsible for Astudillo at first. Salvador Perez goes through a series of signs with a runner at second base. And somehow Adrianza picked that ball off the dirt and fouled it away.
Yep. Two-strike approach, battling.
Two balls, two strikes. Still 2-2.
Souvenir to a bunch of happy ladies out there on ladies' night.
And now full count. And Grossman and Astudillo will be running on the next pitch. Mauer, Cave, and Grossman have driven in Minnesota's runs in the 5th inning. The Royals have RBIs from Perez and Merrifield. There they go. And it's grounded foul again. Adrianza is from Venezuela. His godfather is Ozzie Guillen. And didn't we see him? Was it earlier this year?
In Chicago.
They had some sort of a reunion.
Anniversary. Their 08 team.
Another walk, and now they're loaded. He just disappeared, didn't he, after being fired as manager by the Marlins?
He did.
And now they're loaded up for Tyler Austin. He is 0 for 2. Minnesota's had 6 base runners in this inning. Oh, and 1. Austin had a very eventful beginning to his season. There's Jerry Vasto warming up. Remember that Yankees and the Red Sox had that big brawl in the first or second week of the season. And even though Tyler Austin hasn't been in the Yankee or hadn't been in the Yankee organization for very long, when he charged Joe Kelly, triggering that ugly brawl at Fenway Park, he became a hero in the Bronx, adding to another chapter of the Yankees Red Sox rivalry.
Yep, certainly was. He's got a lot of nice power potential.
Right field. Bonifacio is there, and that's the inning. So Minnesota strands 3, but they score 3 and take the lead at the end of 4½. championship as they defeated Lakewood tonight 2-1. That's a team that's loaded with big name Royals prospects, and among other things that stood out for me when Dayton Moore took over as general manager in 2006 was the importance of winning in the minor leagues, playing to win in the minor leagues. And the Royals team went to 2 World Series recently here. That nucleus won together quite a bit in the minor leagues.
It's an excellent trait to establish if you're good enough as a team. And you know, they didn't pull too many players off of that team. That's another thing. A lot of minor league teams, you lose players as they progress and they get called up to AA, AAA, major leagues. You know, you lose some of your guys, but they were able to keep that team intact for the very purpose of teaching them to win. They're going to progress up the ladder together until they get here, and then that's about the time it's a ding, ding, ding. We got a championship caliber team.
And so maybe you're listening right now and you're going, well, of course. I mean, you have professional athletes. I mean, why wouldn't you want to win? 2 balls, 2 strikes. The simple answer is some organizations are more interested in the individual player's development, making sure each individual develops, and winning games is secondary. Doesn't mean they don't want to win. They're trying to win. Barrios has struck out 5 in a row and 6 of the last 7 going back to the 3rd inning. So here's an example, Hud. Let's just come up with a imaginary scenario, and maybe this happened this year. Nick Prado, one of the Royals' top prospects,
Future big leaguer.
at Lexington. Okay. Tie game, 9th inning. Runner at second, nobody out. All right. A team that is teaching their players how to win games will want Nick Prado to hit a ground ball to the right side, or maybe even bunt, depending on the matchup, because he's doing what he can to try and win that game.
Right.
A team that's more concerned with developing a player says, no, we're trying to turn him into a run producer. So don't worry about the game situation here. We want him to try and drive the ball.
Yep.
So it's the so-called little things that nucleus of Royals teams that won the World Series, that they had those skills when they got here. There's a fly ball to center field and 2 down.
Because you never know when you're going to need them, and you're going to learn. You learn down there, you're going to do the same thing up here.
And you know what, Hutton, I like the approach of teams that teach kids how to win in the minor leagues for this reason. You might have a kid that bats 3rd in A ball, he bats 3rd in AA, and he bats 3rd in AAA and does well. But when he gets here, unless he's a Bryce Harper, a Mike Trout, or a Manny Machado, when he gets here, he's probably going to bat 7th or 8th. And there are going to be times where he's going to be asked to do one of the so-called little things to help a team win a game, and he's going to be lost because he never had to do it in the minor leagues.
So.
All right, I'm over it. 3 up, 3 down. And that's 7 in a row. And 10 of the last 11 set down by Barrios. Take you to Cleveland. This is Josh Donaldson. That's his first home run as a member of the Indians, and he hit it as high as he did far. The Indians had just signed him when the Royals were in Cleveland on the last road trip, and then he went to AAA for a rehab, and then he hit a grand slam in his first game.
Yeah, and you know, he hasn't played ball almost all year, so he can take him some time to get his timing back. But if he gets on a roll, boy, that's all they need, a little more firepower from the third baseman. He got it all over that lineup.
They should be the first team to clinch, and with 16 to go and a 15-game lead, you can do the math. Jerry Vasto is a Chevy call to the bullpen. He is the third Royals pitcher tonight.
Yeah, and you know, looking at the Royals the rest of the way through, what, 15 games left or 16, whatever we have, you know, they're not facing any contenders, which is good for contenders, because facing the Royals, you wouldn't want that, because they're a team that's playing at their best now, and they could beat you. You got Pittsburgh, Detroit, Cincinnati, and then Cleveland. The last 4 of the year, they should have it clinched by now, or they will have it clinched. So, too bad the Royals aren't in a spoiling position the rest of the way.
Gregorio Petit takes a strike. He's the number 9 hitter. He is 2 for 2, and he had what looked like a harmless infield single leading off the 5th inning against Lopez, and that was the beginning of a 3-run 5th inning to put Minnesota in front. And now it's 0-2.
Petit's been around a long time. First signed in 04. Excuse me, 01. He's got to the big leagues with Oakland, played for the Astros, the Yankees, middle infielder. Barely got a piece of it. He's a grinder, one of those guys that play till they have to rip the uniform off him. Vasto, fastball slider.
Salvi had something kick up in his eye. Must have come off of his glove. He was patting at his glove, so in the force of the fastball, something flew off of his glove and into his eye. Remember last night? It was a Minnesota pitcher. Was it John Curtis? It was the guy who went diving on the grass and made the play, and then he patted his glove and grass blades went flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
2-2. Vasto got a couple of big outs last night. He got the last 2 outs of the 8th inning when Minnesota turned a 6-2 game into a 6-4 game. They had the tying run. At the time, they had the tying run in scoring position and the go-ahead run at first. Vasto got a fly out and a ground out to put an end to the inning. The Royals added a run in the bottom of the 8th and won 6-4. Oh, a good at bat for Petit. He takes the count from 0-2 to 3-2. Joe Mauer is on deck, and then Jorge Polanco. Had a play. Jorge Lopez went 4 1/3. He had 4 scoreless innings and then was charged with 3 runs in the 5th, and then he came out after the base hit to Grossman, which puts Minnesota in front, and And no word yet from the Royals clubhouse why he came out because of an injury. Newberry finished out the 5th. And after falling behind 0-2, Petit walks, leading off the 6th inning.
Parents and grandparents, the perfect gift for your young Royals fan is now 50% off. Purchase the 2018 Sluggers Blue Crew box for just $15. Membership includes a jersey, flat bill cap, drawstring bag, 2 compression sleeves, 2 ticket vouchers, and much more. Purchase your discounted membership now at the stadium or online at royals.com/Blue Crew.
Strike to Joe Mauer, who has 2 hits, a run scored, and an RBI. And those 2 hits give him 250 in his career against the Royals. Second all-time behind Rod Carew among all players, although most of the guys on that list played for Minnesota, at least a portion of their career with Minnesota. Good spot, 1-2 on Mauer. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Mauer still one of the toughest guys to get a swing and miss from. He ended the game last night with a swinging strikeout against Willie Peralta. But he is in the top 3 in the major leagues. When he swings, he has the 3rd highest percentage to make contact. Works every time, Hud.
That's right. Talked him right into it. Got him away.
One on, one out to Jorge Polanco. Speaking of Twins, who have done very well against the Royals in their career, on the pitching side, we have one of the guys in the house tonight. Bert Blyleven, Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven, has the most wins of any pitcher all time against the Royals.
Does. Didn't realize that. 34? Wow.
Runner going, high throw. That was a big jump for Petit against Vasto. No, he's at second base with 1 out. And Witt tried the Deke move, trying to get Petit to think that the ball went into center field.
Because when a guy slides like that, he's not watching the play. He doesn't know where it's gone. And if he sees a guy moving out to the outfield, maybe it got by him. He comes off the base. Maybe he doesn't. Sometimes it's worth a gamble. Don't have anything to lose.
One ball, 2 strikes. That was Minnesota's 10th stolen base since the All-Star break. That's the lowest in the major leagues. The Royals have had a stolen base tonight by Mondesi. They have 53 to lead the major league since the All-Star break. 1-2 on Polanco. jammed. And an easy play for Witt. 2 down. Here's Kevin McCarthy. And he is, as they say, hot. He is at game speed. Warmed up and ready to go in the bullpen. Jake Cave takes a slider for a strike. Last night, Basto ended the 8th inning getting Jake Cave to ground out to second base. He had driven in 2 with a home run earlier in the game. He has driven in another run tonight and scored a run. And he has a runner at second base with 2 outs. And he lines it to center field. Goodwin is there to make the catch. So the leadoff walk does not turn into a run. The Royals are down by 1.
Time for the Miller Hold True moment. Now, Jose Barrios, we were hoping he wouldn't be the Hold True moment here in Kansas City, but he has. He's got his breaking ball working well. Look at the 2-seam action, too. Some good movement. 7 punch-outs in total, mainly on the hook.
And 6 of those 7 against the last 10 hitters. He fought it in the first 3 innings. Royals got a walk, a single, and a run in the first. 2 walks, a single, and a run in the second. 2 more hits in the third. But Barrios struck out 2 in that inning. So he has set down 9 of the last 10 with 6 strikeouts. Bobby Joe Rystrom from Blue Springs is our Sonic Slam inning contestant. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Bobby Joe wins $100. Off the end of the bat to left field, and Grossman makes the play. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Bobby Joe wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. So Dozier's 0 for 3. And that'll bring up Ryan O'Hearn, who has the only extra base hit against Barrios tonight with a loop double up the left field line. He's also been on with a walk. All right, Hud. Since 1994, the first year of the American League Central, there have only been 2 players who have finished in the top 3 among the American League leaders in both hits and stolen bases. You mentioned Roberto Alomar.
How about Torrey Hunter?
Write him down. How about Chuck Knobloch?
Sleeper. Go with your gut
What about
feeling.
Johnny Damon when he was with the Royals?
Yeah, you mentioned him. I think you should throw him out there if you feel it.
A couple other names I just want to run up the flagpole.
You can.
Here's a sleeper one for you. Ready?
Yeah.
Ray Durham. Remember the second baseman of the White Sox?
Yes.
Ran well. He had a couple good years.
Interesting. That's an outside shot.
It's a called third strike and 8 strikeouts for Barrios.
Certainly not a big name, though.
And then a couple of other guys that seem to pop up every now and then. Curtis Granderson and Maglio Ordonez.
Those are all excellent candidates. The only problem we have is if we got to find 2 of them, 2 out of those guys.
We have named both. Now that could be seen as a hint, but I mean, come on. Since '94, 2 guys.
Well, we named quite a few names, so it was not easy, but I think you should just go with your gut. That's been winning.
At the end of a previous life, well, there's Jeffrey Flanagan, who a couple nights ago told me, because he likes to know the trivia question, he told me you're going to get this one in about a minute and a half, which I didn't. Tonight, Flanny told me up in the dining room, you've got no chance at this one.
So that means
yeah,
we'll win.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Flanny, by the way, went to the world-renowned academic and athletic institution.
He did?
He did. That's in left center field. Bonifacio is on with 1 out. But I was going to say, in a previous life, I saw a really, really good year from Chuck Knobloch with the Minnesota Twins.
I think you should go with him then.
Chuck Knobloch, strike 1. So I guess it wasn't that good. All right, Hud, so you pick one. Alomar, Lofton, Damon, Durham, Vizquel, Granderson, Ordonez, and Hunter.
Wow.
The correct answers are among that group.
We just got to hit on them. I like your first choice, your first call. Kenny Lofton.
Kenny Lofton?
I think so.
Kenny Lofton.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right. Brian Goodwin with a runner at first, 2 down. Goodwin can get on here, or maybe even if he has a long plate appearance, perhaps the Royals can get Barrios out of the game. This will be his 94th pitch. And then they can work on the small village that is the Minnesota bullpen, which had a rough night last night. The Royals scored all 5 of their runs against the Minnesota bullpen last night. And they have the most blown saves in the American League. 2 balls, 1 strike. And look at Everyday Eddie sitting in the first row like he's waiting for Paul Molitor to call and say, get Guardado up.
He was extremely effective. And he is now as bullpen coach.
I remember when he made 60 appearances for the first time. And that at that time, that was a lot. You got to 60 appearances in a year. I mean, that was a huge number. And now there are guys who routinely make 70 appearances, even 80 appearances. That's a called third strike. So the inning comes to an end. And And Barrios has thrown 97 pitches, so we'll see if he is done for the night. Minnesota leads by 1. In the first inning, Rid Merrifield had a sac fly in the second, and the Royals had a 2-0 lead early. In the Minnesota fifth, Joe Mauer doubled in a run. Jay Cave singled in a run. Robbie Grossman singled in a run. And they literally knocked Jorge Lopez out of the game. Jorge came out with an injury. And so Minnesota leads 3-2. That's a good sign for the Royals that Barrios is only going to go 6. So the Royals will have 9 outs against the Minnesota bullpen. Meanwhile, Kevin McCarthy will pitch the 7th inning. He is the 3rd Royals reliever tonight.
He's done a nice job this year. ERA 3.16. That'll work. Pitches to contact. Sinker baller. Sinker, slider, change curve. Pitches to contact.
That's well hit by Grossman. Deep left center field, and down for a hit. That's Grossman's 3rd hit. And Minnesota has a runner at second base and nobody out.
And he's gone gap to gap. Shopped in both of them tonight. He's swinging a good bat on a pitch that's he should hit hard. It's right in the middle. He's got some good pitches to hit.
Well, we just got word on Jorge Lopez. It is a left rib contusion. So that could still be in the chest area that Cal Eldred was pointing to, but
you better believe it.
It is not the chest muscle, but the rib cage area on his left side. That's where McCarthy wants to pitch. Fastball down at the knees. And a strike on Max Kepler. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Minnesota's out hit the Royals 10-5, but they have also left 9 on base in the first 6 innings. Into the left field corner and foul back into the first row, and then it kicks back 10 rows farther than that. Interesting that it was worded a left rib contusion, which would suggest, I mean, contusion is a fancy word for a wrist or a bruise. Pick off at second base. Grossman is back. That's deep and foul. Remember, there was that high bouncer back in the fourth inning, Astudillo, and Lopez was going out from the mound. Dozier was coming in from third. It wasn't a violent collision, but they did bump into one another. That was one inning before Lopez came out. There's a ground ball to the right side. O'Hearn will take it to the bag, and Kepler gets Grossman over to third with one out.
Well, this could be the play that got the bruise. Let's check it out here. Lopez is going to leave his midsection up there, and bam, he got an elbow.
Did he get the point of the elbow?
I think he got an elbow right there in the ribs. Better angle here. Let's see. Dozier, shoulder. It was a shoulder. Ouch. It looked like there was a pretty substantial collision there. That could be it. Good. Yeah, look at the grimace on Lopez's face. So some good exhaustive research on that. Way to go, fellas.
And here is Astudillo, and he gets one by Dozier. So the leadoff double turns into a run, and Minnesota's lead is 2. Williams, Astudillo.
A couple of balls really just up. Did not getting in any good sync like McCarthy likes. Dozier in. That ball just had eyes on it.
That'll bring up Adrianza with a runner at first and one out. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. He hits it on the ground. O'Hearn goes to second. Out there. McCarthy covers, and no double play.
Follow the race to the postseason on MLB.tv. For $25.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game, plus get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this limited time offer.
Tyler Austin at the plate. He is 0 for 3. He was a big out for Jake Newberry back in the 5th inning. He batted after 3 runs had scored, and Minnesota had gotten a pair of 2-out walks against Jake. But then Newberry got Austin to fly out to right field to leave the bases loaded. All right, Hud, so our trivia question. It's my pick now.
It is. And I think you'll get it. Just go with your gut.
So I mentioned at the end of one career, one life, one stop, I saw a great year from Chuck Knobloch. That was not an answer. And then at the beginning of my next life, I saw 2 really good years from Johnny Damon. One of those years he led the league in stolen bases. So I'm going to say Johnny Damon.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right.
We got him.
All right. So
there you go, bud.
1 strike. Oh, we got them both.
Ding, ding, ding.
Take that, Flanny.
There you go.
Kenny Lofton did it twice. Johnny Damon, I believe, in that 2000 year led the league in stolen bases and runs scored. And then he and the Royals just couldn't get on the same page as far as a contract. He had 1 year left. There you go, Flanny. Did Flanny get it, by the way, at dinner? Oh, he got it. Okay. So before the 2001 season, the Royals traded Johnny Damon to the A's, where he played 1 year. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And in that deal, the Royals got a future Rookie of the Year and a future World Series winning manager. Angel Baroa and A.J. Hinch came to the Royals in that trade.
Yeah.
Adrianza runs and Austin strikes out. So McCarthy gives up a run. It is stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals are down 4-2. Member is on FS1 with coverage beginning at 6 o'clock, and then Sunday afternoon coverage at 12:30. We're back here on Fox Sports Kansas City. Chase DeYoung and Ian Kennedy will match up. Kennedy looked really good on Sunday in Minnesota.
Very good.
Eric Collins and C.J. Nitkowski will call the game tomorrow on FS1. So the Royals get into Minnesota's bullpen. They have the most blown saves in the American League. And it's Trevor May to face Rosell Herrera. And a fastball is inside for ball 1. Jose Barrios had retired 12 of the last 14 with 8 strikeouts after fighting it in the first 3 innings.
It's good showing. Good, strong finish. I think he finally just started being convicted with his curveball, not his fastball. He placed it well.
Adrianza has room, except he ran into the corner of the dugout suite. So that's an area where you have to keep your eye on the field, because he could have gone around that corner.
Yeah, now he looked just to see where he was. It wasn't to see where the corner was, but the corner clipped him. And kept it alive for Herrera. Gotta love that. if you're Herrera. Trevor May, he's got a mid-90s fastball. Power curve, change, slider. .65", 240. He's a big guy.
Grounded sharply. Backhanded by Petit. One down in the bottom of the 7th. So here's the complete Pizza Ranch for the win pitching line for Barrios. So you look at that line and you go, wow, 9 strikeouts, 6 innings, only 5 hits. But he fought it in the first 3. He was not on. He threw a lot of pitches, but beginning with a strikeout against Bonifacio to end the 3rd. Royals had runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. That really got him going in his final 3 innings. There's the breaking ball for a strike to Witt. Ben Lively, whom the Royals picked up during the last road trip, but he has not appeared in a game yet. Getting ready for the 8th inning. It's a good name for a pitcher.
He's got a lively fastball here.
You have been issued a yellow card.
That would be a fizz line right there.
Which one? The yellow card one, or he's got a lively fastball?
No, the lively fastball, and he would be carded for that. I don't know if Fizz will be a part of the Yogis in the outfield, though.
What?
Yeah, because it's a travel day, Sunday.
Oh, I think it's a lock. 2 down.
Well, do we know what time that is for sure? Is it in the morning before? It's a light breakfast. I know that.
Yeah.
But he's picking me up, and I'm not planning on stretching with him in the outfield.
You know, we just got done with a series against the White Sox before this one, and the White Sox had 2 pitchers in their bullpen, Burr and Hamilton. And the first guy I thought of when I was going through their roster was Fizz. Mondesi puts his head down because he launches it into the water to make it a 1-run game. He knew it was gone as soon as he made contact.
Give the fans something to cheer about. Man, that's a fastball at 95, and he knew for sure. Number 8. Ooh, man, that felt great. You could tell. Dodge drive of the game gets them 1 closer. A couple more shots. You called it. You got a chance to get to their pen.
Among the current roster, Mondesi has the longest home run average as far as distance goes.
There's been a couple that I can remember. That the one in Minnesota, the one right-handed here.
Change up, 1 and 2 on Alex. He is 1 for 3 tonight with a single. Minnesota's bullpen has 25 blown saves. That leads the American League. Back-to-back change-ups. But the Royals get a run to make it a 1-run game for a 2nd time tonight on a long home run by Mondesi.
Live coming your way after the game. And Monty, tonight, Jorge Lopez's night was cut a little short. That left rib contusion. Tonight it was all about Jose Barrios. 6 strong innings, 9 strikeouts from him.
Yeah, Barrios was really untouchable for a while there tonight. Got out to a little bit of a slow start, but then got things going. The Royals are going to have to find a way against this Twins bullpen. Like to see what Mondesi did last inning. Maybe a couple more of those later in the game.
Most bone saves in the American League. And coming on for the Royals, Ben Lively makes his Royals debut. Ryan Hudd, back to you.
All right, Erica, thank you. And it's a 1-run game thanks to Mondesi's home run. Ben Lively picked up off of waivers by the Royals 9 days ago from the Phillies, and that's what he did in 5 games, 5 starts with Philadelphia. Spent a little bit of time in April on the disabled list with tightness in his low back.
Yep, big guy, mid-90s fastball, but likes the slider. He's got a curve and a change. He'll sinker to go with it. So he's going to average 90 to 95, but he's going to tinker with it a little bit. 2 sliders in a row.
Gregorio Petit is 2 for 2 with a walk, and this is the 3rd time that his spot has come up to lead off an inning. He singled in the 3rd, and then he led off the 5th with a single and scored. He led off the 6th with a walk and stole a base. That is off the knuckles.
Ooh, man, that just misses fingers.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Ben Lively was first signed by the Cincinnati Reds, a 4th-round pick in 2013. Fastball got him looking. Petit was on his way to first, but now he has to make a U-turn and head back to the 3rd base dugout.
That's right. Lively. Good sinker on the outside part of the plate. Petit, you got to go.
Lively is out of the University of Central Florida.
Look at that. I mean, you know, it looks like he's got a nice little angle to downhill. Has just a tad crossfire to his delivery. But I like his low drop and drive and his legs. Really uses his legs.
Oh, and 2. Joe Mauer is 2 out of 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Ben Lively and Eric Skoglund were teammates at the University of Central Florida. Lively was drafted 1 year ahead of Skoglund. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that's the same program that produced Drew Butera. Lively went in 2013 to the Reds, and then Skoglund in 2014 to the Royals. Two balls, 2 strikes. The year after he was drafted by the Reds, Ben Lively was the Reds minor league pitcher of the year. Still 2-2. And then after that season, after he was the minor league pitcher of the year, he was traded to the Phillies for Marlon Byrd.
Good player. Lively, he looks good. Throwing strikes. That's good stuff.
He looks
lively, no doubt. Folks, save the date for the Royals Annual Fan Fest on Friday. That's January 25th and Saturday the 26th, presented by Commerce Bank. Take a break from the cold weather and enjoy autograph sessions, interactive games, and player interviews at the Kansas City Convention Center. Youth tickets are just $5. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit royals.com/fanfest and check out some of the new players that they'll have, I'm sure, and some of the minor leaguers are coming.
Jorge Polanco is 0 for 4. There's a base hit into right field. He jumped on an 0-1 fastball. He's on with 2 outs. Now the ball got past Mondesi, but Hunter Dozier at third base was paying attention, so he backed it up without Polanco being able to advance. Keep your eye on the ball applies to just about everybody here tonight. Not just what we learned as little leaguers when we were hitting. Keep your eye on the ball.
Yeah.
Jake Cave with a runner at first base. He's driven in a run tonight and scored a run. He scored the then go-ahead run when Minnesota took a 3-2 lead in the 5th inning. They added a run in the 7th, and then the Royals answered with a run in the 7th. One and one. One and two. Lopez went 4 1/3. He allowed 3 and then left in the 5th with a rib cage contusion. Jake Newberry 2/3. Jerry Vasto 1 inning. Kevin McCarthy 1 inning. He allowed a run, and now Ben Lively making his Royals debut. Still 1 and 2.
You know, we showed that. Steve Kurtenbach, our director, had his cameraman check out a possible contusion, would have been a bruise. Where was that happening? That play that Astudillo hit off the plate, and you know, Dozier hit him with the very point of his shoulder right under his rib cage. Looked like on his right side. That would affect him. Excuse me, left side.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
So I think a contusion really is the best case scenario there. It'll heal up quicker. Yeah, they hope.
Off speed and struck him out. So Lively strikes out 2 in his Royals debut. Minnesota by 1 to the bottom of the 8th. To stay up late tonight, and that is a rally dance as the Royals have 6 outs to go to beat the Minnesota bullpen. It has not been a good year for the Minnesota pitching staff and their bullpen with the most blown saves in the American League, but it's been a good year for Taylor Rogers with a 2.9 ERA, and opponents are hitting just .215 against him.
Low 90s to mid 90s fastball, a couple of different speeds to his curve, and a changeup. 6'3", 180 to 27-year-old. He's had some deception to his delivery.
Salvi grounds it up the third base line. Adrianza throws him out. Salvi's 1 for 4 with a first inning RBI. Jason Hamill gets ready for the 9th. And Rogers isn't just a lefty specialist. Paul Molitor goes to him with 2 right-hand batters with power coming up in a 1-run game. Right-hand batters are hitting just .232 against Rogers this year. Left-hand batters .191. It is 0-2 on Dozier. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Jose Barrios gave up 2 in 6 innings. Trevor May gave up 1 in the 7th. Two outs.
The 4th annual Yogis in the Outfield is back at the K this Sunday. Join us for a special 1-hour yoga practice in the outfield grass led by Core Movement, followed by a light breakfast and a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins at 1:15 p.m. Each participant will receive a Yogis in the Outfield yoga mat. And that's purchase your tickets at royals.com/theme ticket.
Look at all those people.
Yeah, that was a year or so ago, but it's early. That's what I'm understanding.
Look at
7:30. It's popular.
So you better get on it if you want to go.
Exactly. Get in there. It's prior to the 1:15 game, but prior is like could be any time. And I'm hearing it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah. One thing's for sure, it will be before the game. That's usually what prior means.
That's right. I'd love to get you in a yoga class on the road. Not Sunday, though. It's too early, I'm telling you.
So you want me to get in my underwear and go down in a basement where it's 95 degrees?
No, it's 105, and you don't have
to. Okay.
You could wear any kind of, you wear a bathing suit, whatever you want. You can wear a shirt. You know, you don't have to, but it's just all about stretching in the heat.
O'Hearn walks for the 2nd time tonight, both times on 4 straight pitches. See, I could do that in my hotel room.
You could. If
and it's 72 degrees.
Yeah, you're going to have to crank the heat up.
My sweatpants, and I can stretch at my own pace.
Okay. All right. But how about Bonifacio stretching one over the wall? Wouldn't that be timely?
He has just 1 at-bat in his career against Rogers, and Rogers struck him out. Bonifacio has 2 hits tonight, both singles, and he scored on Merrifield's sac fly back in the 2nd inning. That gave the Royals a 2-0 lead. Minnesota scored 3 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th, and the Royals got 1 in the 7th. Line left field, and by Grossman, O'Hearn to 3rd. Mike Jersley's going to wave it. Polanco's throw is in time. And there was a lefty-lefty matchup coming up. So Mike Jersley with 2 outs took the risk And Astudillo got him. So he didn't quite get it over the wall, but he made it interesting.
Sure did. Jersh with 2 outs, taking the gamble.
So a 3-hit game for Bonifacio, but the Royals are still down by 1. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. Jorge Bonifacio has a 3-hit game and nearly tied the game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan O'Hearn was thrown out at the plate.
Got it all lined up perfectly here. Jershly, he's sending him, steps on the base. He's 1 step past the bag. Polanco, strong throw, a little bit off, but the athleticism of Astudillo got him.
Jason Hamill will pitch the 9th inning. Did that play remind you of any other play in
you know,
Royals history in the last 4 years?
Did Alex Gordon's little scamper home there, and with 2 outs in the 9th inning, 7th game of the World Series. The crowd was just at a frenzied level, on their feet, screaming.
Lifted to right field. And there's Bonifacio to get Grossman. He has a 3-hit game going. Now, the throw in the World Series was from left center field, and Brandon Crawford was closer to the infield than Polanco was, and Alex was still a couple of steps from third base, and we'll never know what would have happened, but that was the first thing that popped into my mind. And I immediately asked our producer Kevin Cedergren, I was just curious, where was the shortstop in the outfield when he received the throw, and where was O'Hearn? I think Alex is a little faster than O'Hearn. Maybe not. Be pretty close.
Yeah, but the whole thing was they had another out to work with, and Salvi was coming up. So Jersh, he did the right thing. In his first year as a third base coach, had a call like that in a crucial game like that.
And that wasn't a great throw by Polanco, but it was close enough where Astudillo could go get the ball and then come back to home plate. Whatever. One and 2 on Kepler.
But had Mike Jershly sent Alex Gordon and he was thrown out to end the World Series by 20 feet, Jersh would have had to have a police escort out of here. You know?
Yep.
Would have been terrible for him.
You know, and everyone sees the game differently. I appreciate that. But you and I and Monty, we were doing the post-game show out in the parking lot on Fox Sports Kansas City. And we didn't even discuss that. I mean, we thought it was just going to be a poetic ending to the Royals season for Salvi to come through. Salvi was the only guy who had an RBI against Bumgarner the whole World Series when he hit a home run against him. So it's just, you know, and he had the wild card hit. It was just perfect bookends to have Salvi come up, and we were all sitting out there on the set and discussing the series and the year and just what a magical run it was and how much it hurt to lose Game 7 at home. And then all of a sudden, one of our segments was Mike Jerschele being interviewed in the clubhouse with 700 microphones around him, having to explain why he didn't send home Alex Gordon.
Yep. Big game. Biggest.
Little half swing roller out to Dozier. And close but out. Jeff Smith, the Twins first base coach, put his right index finger in the air and was wagging it, saying, wrong call. Call was made by first base umpire Ben May.
Well, that's a nice play by Dozier.
Looked out there.
Ball was not hit hard, and Dozier attacked the ball and really showed his arm strength there. He's out. Okay, he's going to load, crow hop, and fire.
Now Jeff Smith is over there talking to the first base umpire Ben May. And may have said, hey, you know, was that we'll get back to that in a second, but there's probably a little classier way than to do the wag of the finger up there.
It offended May.
Yeah. Now, is a foul tip considered a swing and a miss?
It's interesting, but he just swung through that ball on a 94-mile-an-hour heater, and he hadn't swung and missed
in 25 consecutive plate appearances. Not struck out, just swung and missed one time. Trevor Hildenberger will pitch the bottom of the ninth inning. The Royals will have Goodwin, Herrera, and Merrifield coming up. You can't compare the two games, obviously. Game 7 of a World Series and Game 147 for the Royals this year. But you also consider, you know, we said Salvi's coming up. You also have to consider who's coming up. And Taylor Rogers is really tough on lefties, and Brian Goodwin was coming up. He was on deck. Astudillo, he's had a big night. That's his third hit to go along with a walk. And he's on with 2 outs. One of the many things a third base coach considers before the ball is even put in play.
That's right.
Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Here's A-Ray Adrianza with a runner at first and 2 down. Bunting, and it's a good one. Hamill to first, and it's a good play. 2 good plays on the infield. Dozier to get Kepler on a close play, and now Hamill to get Adrianza to keep it a 1-run game to the bottom of the ninth. He has 6 saves, so he has taken over that role since Fernando Rodney was traded to the A's.
Yep, he's got a hard sinker, 88 to 94, slider, and a changeup to both lefties and righties. Little sidewinder. Ladies are having a good time tonight.
Brian Goodwin will lead off, followed by Rosell Herrera and Whit Merrifield. So you figure this would be a better matchup for Goodwin, facing a right-hander who comes from 3/4 as opposed to him coming up and facing Taylor Rogers.
Yep. But Molitor trying to keep some sort of back end consistency, staying with his closer.
Jose Barrios, Minnesota starter tonight. He struck out 9 in 6 innings and got Goodwin twice, both times looking. And now ball 1 outside. One and 1. Hildenberger and Goodwin, you ask. One matchup, and Brian is 0 for 1. One ball, 2 strikes.
Looks like he's throwing all that hard tonight.
Goodwin does a good job of going the other way, but the Twins think he's going to pull the ball. And he fouls it the other way. Before his groin injury, which happened in New York, he was wearing out the left side of the field.
Sure was. It's too bad he got hurt. That took his timing away and everything.
Out to the one man on the left side, and Adrianza throws him out. 1 down. And now Rosell Herrera. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Another walk for him. 6 in his last 7 games. The Royals and Twins season series is tied at 8 games apiece, dominated by the home teams. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Royals are 6-1 here against Minnesota. The Twins were 7-2 against the Royals at Target Field. Minnesota won the season series last year, and the Royals had won the 4 before that. Lined up the left field line, fair. Tying runs at second base with 1 out. Top of the order coming up.
Love how he let the ball travel deep towards Astudillo's glove, the catcher, and he looked like he took it right out of his glove. Coming back over the middle of the plate, whack, just in time. Ooh, man, that was nice. Just a foot foul, or excuse me, a foot fair. And now with Whit coming up, chance to tie it.
Well, I mentioned that the season series is tied this year, and it's even in the later innings. The Royals have scored 1 more run, but the difference last year was late scoring. scoring in the 7th inning or later. Now the crowd's into it. And Witt, fly ball, left center field. Herrera rounds third, and Merrifield has tied it in the 9th inning. And that is blown save number 26 for the Minnesota Twins. Witt has driven in 2 tonight.
Not messing around. He tried to paint the corner on him with a little breaking ball at 78, and Witt joinked him off the end. Beautifully done. That nice hit by Herrera turned into a game tire. Outstanding job. See if they can continue here to see if Witt can get into scoring position. Rip off a bag. If he does, it would be his 37th steal. Any kind of gapper might do the job.
And he's throwing just as hard to first as he is to the plate. Merrifield leads the American League in stolen bases. He is tied for the Major League lead with 19 since the All-Star break. And Hildenberger, well, he has more attention toward the guy at first than the guy at the plate.
He should. He knows that the base stealers are 10 for 10 off him in steals this year. And 15 for 15 in his career. Astudillo, catcher's got his work cut out for him.
Not running. And it's low. Now this might be an odd question, Hud, but in a situation like this, I mean, you're trying to get the winning run in scoring position, but Hildenberger's doing everything to make sure Witt doesn't steal. Should Witt drop the anchor here and just put the focus on Mondesi?
You know what? That's the kind of talent that Mondesi has. It's possible. I'd like to see Mondesi, though, not try to hit a homer here. Just stay within yourself, and he can shoot a gap in a heartbeat. And when that happens, the fans that are going to come unglued here. Just stay within yourself and shoot the ball in left center field gap. Game over.
The second blown save for Hildenberger this year. So he is 6 out of 8. Not running. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. $18,389 are here. It sounds louder than that right now.
Gonna get a heater.
3 balls, 1 strike. Point being, in Mondesi, the way he's hitting right now, the chances of him hitting a gap or hitting one up the line or whatever, I mean, yeah, get the winning run into scoring position, but shoot, Mondesi might score him standing at first base.
Exactly. Witt will be leaving here.
Not going. And it's grounded into right field. Witt makes the turn. Kepler comes up throwing. He is safe. And now the winning run is at third with 1 out.
Had to come in there. 3-1 count. Hildenberger doesn't look like he has his best stuff tonight. That's for sure. We've seen him in the low 90s at least, but hasn't. I don't think he's touched 90 all night.
I heard somebody say a long time ago, the threat of a stolen base has the same impact sometimes as an actual stolen base, and I think we just saw that with Merrifield not going anywhere, but boy, was he in between Hildenberger's ears. Here comes Paul Molitor, and they're going to bring Robbie Grossman out, the left fielder who is not known for his defense, and Logan Forsythe is coming in, so it looks like they're going to go with a 5-man infield. So technically, Forsythe becomes a left fielder hitting in the number 4 spot, but I do not think he's going to be in left field. Paul Molitor, first of all, is going to walk Alex Gordon, as they're not concerned about anybody but Whit Merrifield at third. So that sets up a righty-righty and a ground ball and a play at the plate. And Paul Molitor's convinced that Hildenberger is going to get a ground ball from Salvador Perez, so he wants 5 defenders on the infield.
Well, the key for the Royals offense today off of Brios was look him up. Well, right here, see him up, tee her high and let her fly.
Salvi looked like he was taken all the way.
And that was the one.
He is 0 for 5 in the past against Hildenberger. No balls, 2 strikes. Doesn't it seem like the handful of times this year that Salvi's tried to calm himself down and say, okay, don't swing at the first pitch, take a strike. It's a meatball.
Yep, and trying to slow the game down here is the whole key now. Just sit back, and he's going to try to get him to chase off the plate.
Ground ball, foul. Well, they already have 3 walk-off wins in their last 12 home games, with just 1 in the first 52 home games. And that walk-off was against Minnesota. The Royals have won 8 of their last 9, 11 of their last 13 at home. That's the one he wanted him to chase. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two. Merrifield, he's already a heads-up player, but if Hildenberger is going to try and go farther and farther down and away, he might go too far and skip one by the catcher. And Hildenberger surprisingly does not have a wild pitch yet this year.
Well, you know, a situation here with him loaded, you got to be going on the ground, but definitely freeze on the line if you're a base runner. Plenty of outfield room. Salvi's an excellent bad ball hitter, by the way, too.
Outside, and he went with a fastball that time. And I think the pitch may have caught Salvi by surprise with all those sliders. But Hildenberger didn't throw it for a strike.
Looked like it did. Got to throw a strike here. You can't. You cannot walk the batter. You want to challenge him and let things happen the way they're supposed to happen.
But let me ask you this: will he throw him a strike here? I mean, is he banking that? Does he have to try and strike him out on a chase pitch?
I might try to trick Salvi here to see if he can get him to swing and pop one up or something. Let's see. Ooh, man.
Well, he didn't trick him with that one. I mean, it was never fair, but
there's no way he's going to take anything close. That's way too close to take. And that inside pitch really could set up a slider away. We'll see. Salvi battling. Like to see it.
that'll do it. And how far will it go? It is gone. A grand slam. A walk-off grand slam. The Royals needed one, and Salvi gave them 4.
And they double dosed him. What a way to win it. Well, it was the slider he went with, and it left it right over the middle of the plate, and Salvi reached out. Of course it was. It was a pretty good spot on the outer half. You got to credit Salvador Perez for barreling that, staying with it, and that he knew the game was over, but had no idea it was going to carry for a slam.
It is a 5-run bottom of the 9th inning. And Erica, for the second night in a row, I think you're safe down there.
Ryan, I think I'm safe. I think all the Gatorade tubs are empty. Salvi, your 26th home run of the season, and it's a big one, a walk-off grand slam. What were you looking for in that situation? What'd you get?
I was looking for something up out of the play. And thank you guys for staying here. Thank you for the support. That's all for you guys. Thank you.
Salvi, this is your 4th walk-off win for the club. The last 13 games, something about the late inning magic here at this part of the season here at home. What is it about this ball club at home right now?
I just like to play here. I just like to play for these fans. So thank you. We're going to come in here to play hard every day and see what happens.
Another night, another grinded out win for you guys. You're down, but you're not out. Something about this ball club coming up late and getting the W for this team tonight.
That's amazing, especially for Lopez. He threw a tremendous game tonight. So we leave everything on the field.
Sal, we appreciate the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
Ryan, back to you.
That's the first walk-off grand slam for the Royals since 2013. Remember Justin Maxwell, the last home game of the year off of Joaquin Soria?
That was awesome.
Wow.
This was great tonight. The fans don't want to leave.
Just like the Maxwell grand slam.
Oh, he barreled it. I mean, I didn't think he'd get out of the park, but carried. Love it.
It ends up being a 4-run Royals victory. We'll be right back.